What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys a week 3 team builder taking on Shade and the Calgary Talonflames. Let's run through Shade's team here. He has the Zapdos, Melodic, Darmanitan, Kyurem, Mudsdale, Clefairy, Megalopony, Tangrowth, Klefki, Reuniclus, and Murkrow. His top 3 Mons I'm kind of known for using, so a little bit sketched out about that. Obviously, the Zapdos Knight really hurt me in the draft. Excuse me. I was counting on Zapdos to synergize with the Mega Diancie really well. Um, but luckily my team can kind of break it really well too. In terms of my own Mega Diancie breaking Zapdos as well. So there's a lot going on here. He's got some weird speed tiers stuff going on. It's a relatively slow team with some very obvious Scarfers. Nothing that can't be prepped for realistically. So yeah, that's what's going through my head here. In terms of priority, he's got the Megalopony with Fake Out and Quick Attack, and that's it. But he does have 2 Prankster Mons in the Klefki and the Murkrow. I don't really expect Murkrow to come. I can't imagine why it would, but that's that. Hazard Setters, he's got the Mudsdale with Rocks, Clefairy with Rocks, and Klefki with Spikes. Removal options, he's got the Zapdos with Defog, Klefki with Defog, and Murkrow with Defog. And then he's got no 4x weaknesses. And in terms of what I don't expect, I really just think it's like Murkrow, Mudsdale that aren't coming. Clefairy might make an appearance, maybe. Not sold on it, but also not completely against it. It definitely could show up. It could show up. What I do think is coming 100%. All right, Megalopony is definitely coming to this match. It's 100% coming. Klefki has to come, otherwise he kind of just gets bodied by Mega Diancie. Like, he actually just doesn't have a fairy resist besides the Klefki. I don't count Darmanitan, especially when it gets bopped by Mega Diancie anyways. Zapdos is coming, Melodic's coming, Megalopony's coming, Klefki's coming, that's 4. I think Tangrowth would come as his Garchomp check, which is 5. And then it's between, like, Kyurem, Reuniclus, Clefairy. Excuse me. Between Kyurem, Reuniclus, Clefairy for me. For the last spot there, I think it's more than likely going to be the Kyurem in, like, a Scarf roll, just to spam Ice Beam against me, which I can hopefully deal with here. So, first up on my side, bringing the Mega Diancie. With Moonblast, Rocks, Heal Bell, Diamond Storm, I really only need Dual Stab against this team. Like I said, his Fairy Resist is the Klefki. It still doesn't eat these hits very well, and it doesn't get reliable recovery. And his Wish Passer is Clefairy, so I'm not concerned about the Klefki getting HP back. Heal Bell is there for status spam from the Klefki in particular. Be really annoying. I can stay in on it and Magic Bounce and whatnot, but I don't want to stay in on a Flash Cannon, like, ever, so I will pass on that opportunity. Rocks are there to whittle his team now. It's a really important chip for the Zapdos and the Darmanitan, and the Kyurem, especially if that comes to. It puts Melodic in range of some moves if it's a Flame Orb set as well, because then it's taking net 18 when it switches in, which is really solid for me, so that's sort of what's going on there. Diamond Storm over Power Gem, because I want to hit the... I want to hit the Reuniclus really hard. If it's a Calm Mindset, then Diamond Storm at least is a way to punch through the Calm Mind shenanigans. I thought about running like a sub Endeavor set this week. I didn't really want to weaken Mega Diancie when it kind of just like goes ham and he doesn't have the resist for it, so that's why it's like this. I'm mixed, so I have to be, well, I didn't have to be naive, but I chose to be naive over hasty, because at least this way I can maybe eat a hit from Darmanitan and kill it back, but I already know that I wasn't really living all that many special hits. And typically his team is more physically offensive in terms of the offense on his team. His defensive Mons are very specially offensive, but mostly his physical offense is what I would be scared of there. So max special attack, a little bit of attack, whatever's left over, and I'm outspeeding... Oh my god, did I really not put this? I'm outspeeding Zapdos. I didn't write it down though. I'm outspeeding Zapdos. Max speed Zapdos with this speed investment. Rotom's next. I'm running an ICMZ Rotom-Frost, making its season debut with T-Bolt, Volt Switch, Blizzard, and Pain Split. So originally it was Reflect over Pain Split, and Cade suggested to change it back to Pain Split, which is really cool. So shout outs to Cade for helping me with the build this week. ICMZ Blizzard is a nice way to just nuke the Zapdos if I really have to. I mean, honestly, he doesn't have a great Blizzard switch in, like, it's melodic, and that's kind of the great part about having a Bolt Beam spammer, is that you just kill the waters that resist the ice. His Steel type's Klefki, so You know, Z Blizzard's going to do a shitload to that, and it really doesn't want to switch into electric attacks anyways. Z Blizzard should be able to. It's what I've EV'd this for specifically with the special attack investment is an AV max Spadef Tangrowth should die to a Z Blizzard, like guaranteed every single time. There's no rolls where a max Spadef AV Tangrowth lives this hit. Sorry about that. Just a little bit of recovery with Plane Split. I really got to come in on his walls, but that's kind of the best part is that I can, because all of his walls are slow as shit. Yeah, like, it's fine to me that Darmanitan, Kyurem, and Mega Lopunny are going to outspeed me naturally. I'm outspeeding a no-speed Zapdos, so if he really wants to go fast Zapdos, he can. I don't see a reason for it against my team. He'd much rather have the bulk than have the speed against me because of mons like Garchomp and Diancie outspeeding it anyways. He'd much rather just like keep the bulk on the Zapdos for sure. So I'm confident that I'm going to be able to outspeed a no-speed Zapdos with this Rotom. As much HP as I could throw in there, realistically, it's not going to help me in terms of Pain Split. In fact, it's going to work against me in terms of Pain Split, but it's better than balancing out my defenses in a way, and sort of lets me take hits from other mons on his team. Potentially Kyurem Ice Beams. I should be able to live a Draco, I believe, from Scarfed. I should definitely be able to live a Draco. I'm not sure if I'd live a Draco from Specs or not, but that's sort of what I was trying to factor in here. This is my main way to beat Melodic, if not only way to beat Melodic, so I'm counting on that a lot as well. Just spamming Thunderbolt and maybe pivoting around on his team. Like, realistically, I can kind of just click Volt Switch freely. Again, I don't think the Mudsdale's coming, and even if Mudsdale comes, I can just bop it with the Z Blizzard if it wants to switch in on my Volt Switch. I'm just trying to claim a kill and put the numbers game in my favor. Making sure that he has less switch-in opportunities to my Pokemon as possible would be fantastic. Next up is Matsutake the Amoonguss, making its season debut as well. Rocky Helmet, so this is kind of a switch-in to... this is my main switch-in to the Lopunny. It's really the only thing that this does. You know, it can switch into Mudsdale and do a hefty chunk back to the Mudsdale. It can switch into Tangrowth pretty effectively too. Can't really switch into Kyurem, can't really switch into Darmanitan, but if I absolutely had to pressure the Darmanitan with Rocky Helmet damage, I could. You know, if he's locking himself into like Earthquake on Darmanitan, or if he wants to click U-turn on Darmanitan against something else, like most likely Vaporeon. Like, if I'm in with Vaporeon, he's not clicking Flare Blitz anyways, so I could pivot into the Amoonguss and chip him down with Rocky Helmet damage, which would be really helpful. And his switch-ins to Amoonguss aren't great. It's mainly Reuniclus, which I could sleep. If he's Overcoat, then that's really good for me, because that means that he's not Magikarp, taking residual damage from rocks and whatnot. And if he's Regenerator, same thing, really. I can basically put whatever I want to sleep with Spore, which is really solid. I'd love to put the Klefki to sleep, because then it can't do shenanigans. I'd love to put the Zapdos to sleep. I wouldn't be surprised if he brings, like, Safety Goggles Zapdos, though, for me. I've got Clear Smog on there to get rid of, like, Power-Up Punch boosts from the Mega Lopunny. Calm Mind boost from the Reuniclus. Without a Calm Mind up, the Reuniclus should not be able to one-shot me unless he's Specs. Giga Drain is there mainly for the Mudsdale and the Melodic, but it'll do good chip against a lot of stuff. It should be able to break a sub of a Mega Lopunny. Should be able to break a sub of a Mega Lopunny. And then HP Fire is there to hit the Klefki, which otherwise I wouldn't be able to hit at all. Yeah, pretty good chip mon. It's just a really reliable pivot for me. It's sort of a mid-ground play in almost every scenario, except when Darmanitan's clicking Flare Blitz, then it's a really shit play. But in other plays, it's a good one. You know, it's a nice mid-ground play against the Zapdos, against an electric attack, and then he's forced to go for, like, Heat Wave. And I can sort of play around that a little bit more and go into Diancie potentially on the Heat Wave and whatnot, but really good mid-ground play. I'm running a tiny bit of speed on this for Reuniclus so that I can Clear Smog it. I doubt that the Reuniclus would ever run speed. He really has no reason to expect me to run speed either, unless he's a lord and expects me to run Clear Smog Amoonguss for his Reuniclus. So that's that. I split the defenses a little bit, pretty much randomly. You know, I can definitely take Mega Lopunny hits really well anyways, and it's really the HP stat that matters on Amoonguss. Vaporeon, I'm running a lefty set with Roar, Protect, Scald, and Wish. Wish Protect is really good. I can Wish Pass into my Rotom potentially, which would be really helpful. But I'm mainly going to try and Wish Pass into Diancie, I think, because I'm going to be a little bit reckless with it this game, I think. Because it puts in so much work, I'm planning on being reckless with Diancie, and so being able to Wish Pass into that is really nice. I'm physically defensive for the Darmanitan. Like I said, most of his offensive mons are physical, like the Lopunny and Darmanitan. I eat Kyurem hits for days. It really, really has to be locked into Draco, and Diancie effectively handles Dracos really well. Hoopa can eat Dracos too. I'm not really scared of Kyurem locking itself into Draco by any means, even though I'm physically defensive. Roar is there for any setup problems. You know, I've run my fair share of sub Belly Drum Darmanitans before. I think that sub Belly Drum Darmanitan has an absolutely trash matchup against me, because there's no way in hell if I was bringing Garchomp that is not going to be Scarfed, which is really the problem with sub Belly Drum Darmanitan, is you need to be able to get rid of their Scarfers, or be behind a sub against their Scarfers. I don't think it's feasible that he's ever going to end up behind a sub against my Scarfers, so that is, or be faster than their Scarfers, yeah. So, yeah, Roar's just for that. Like, Power Up Punch Mega Lopunny, Calm Mind, Reuniclus, again, same things. I just want to, like, get them out of there. Like, if the Clefairy is a setup variant of Clefairy, Cosmic Power, or something like that, I want to get it the fuck out of there, too. This is a really easy switch into the Mudsdale for me, a really easy switch into the Darmanitan for me. I would be fine Scald Burning almost everything, although probably not Melodic, because then that gives me a really difficult time with Buzzwole. But if he's Flame Orb anyways, then I can't really avoid that. His, like, clerics are Mega Lopunny with Heal Bell and Clefairy with Heal Bell, so, and Aromatherapy, so it's not great in terms of his Scald Burn healing abilities. Residual damage on the Kyurem would be great too. If he's a sub Roost variant of Kyurem, then I can roar that out too, and that's really nice for me. Buzzwole, next, I'm bringing a Scarf Buzzwole with Drain Punch, Thunder Punch, Leech Life, Iron Head. So Iron Head is there for Clefairy. That's the only reason it's there, is for Clefairy. I would never click Iron Head otherwise. You know, Clefairy resists Dual Stab, and it's his only fairy that resists Dual Stab because Drain Punch hits the Klefki. I opted into Drain Punch over Superpower just because I don't need the extra damage output from Superpower all that much, and Drain Punch is kind of nice for a lot of stuff. I'm a little bit walled by the Zapdos, and actually, I think I don't give a shit about Clefairy, and I want to run Rock Slide for the Zapdos, just to have something for it, because I don't really want to be walled by Zapdos late game. Thunder Punch is there for the Melodic, and Leech Life is there for Reuniclus mainly, although Leech Life is a really safe click late game too. You know, it gets me a ton of HP back. It's a little bit stronger than Drain Punch and gets more HP back than Drain Punch does. Or sorry, the same amount of HP, but it's more damage by 5 base power. And so if his bug resists are dead, then it's a really safe click. But if his fighting weaknesses are still there, then I don't know, same sort of thing. It's really there for the Reuniclus. I want to make sure that I have a nice nuke for the Reuniclus. So I'm running enough speed on here for Mega Lopunny, so I'll outspeed Mega Lopunny all the time. You know, his Scarfers are going to be faster than me anyways. His Scarfers are most likely the Darmanitan or the Kyurem, so I don't really have to play around outspeeding his Scarfers with my Scarfer. I just kind of have to suck it up. I chose not to bring Garchomp and the Scarf on Garchomp this week for a couple reasons, and so I'm paying the price. You know, his Scarfers are going to outspeed mine, and I sort of have to play around being defensive around them, and I've built the Vaporeon and the Mungus to be that way. So that's Buzzwole. Defense investment, so this is also a Mega Lopunny switch in. It's probably not my best it is actually my best Mega Lopunny switch in if I wanted to bring a defensive variant. But I really felt like a defensive variant got punished way too hard against his team, unless I brought like a Toxic set to deal with the Zapdos with Ice Punch. Oh, you know what? Ice Punch is better than Rock Slide, isn't it? No, but Rock Slide doesn't make contact, and I don't want to be staticked. Ice Punch and Rock Slide have the same base power, so really it's only the miss chance, but I'd rather be locked into Rock Slide than Ice Punch against everything else. So we're just going to roll with it. Last but not least is my Hoopa-Unbound. Specs Hoopa obliterates this team. Absolutely decimates it. I ran Calcs. This is the investment that I need to two-shot his entire... I two-shot his entire team. It really doesn't matter. I'll two-shot or one-shot his entire team with Dual Stab on Hoopa. This is a ginormous threat and a huge problem for him. If I let this die, I'm a moron. Luckily for me, he only has two Pokemon that learn U-turn on his team, and that's the Zapdos and the Darmanitan. I'm specifically running the same amount of speed investment as Rotom so that I can outspeed a min-speed Zapdos, so that I can kind of avoid that, hopefully. Darmanitan will definitely click U-turn against a Hoopa, and I might be ballsy enough to go into a Mungus on that to punish it. But I'm obviously never staying in on that. So, Hoopa gets a kill. He brings in Darm to revenge me. I switch out into a Mungus, most likely because a Mungus can then get Regenerator back. If he does want to click Flare Blitz, I probably wouldn't make that play a second time. I would probably go into Vaporeon the second time. But the first time, he's definitely clicking U-turn. So, yeah, enough speed for the Zapdos, and then I'm running enough special attack to two-shot his entire team, even AV Tangrowth. I mean, AV Tangrowth, it doesn't really matter. I two-shot it with Psyshock. I will two-shot the Klefki with Psyshock as well. He can't Prankster T-Wave me, which is really solid. I easily two-shot the Clefairy with Psyshock. I believe I two-shot Mudsdale with Dark Pulse. I two-shot Melodic with Dark Pulse. I two-shot Zapdos with Dark Pulse. I OHKO Reuniclus with Dark Pulse. I still two-shot the Murkrow with Dark Pulse, which is hilarious. I OHKO Darmanitan with either move. I believe it's close to an OHKO against Kyurem with either move as well. So, yeah, there's a lot going for this Hoopa. I've got Trick there just in case I really do want to get rid of my specs. I can get rid of the specs onto something that won't want them or will want to set up. Potentially getting rid of specs against Darmanitan is not a bad play. If he switches into Darm for whatever reason, then I could take the Scarf, and then that's also a threat, but I lose the ability to two-shot his team at that point. So I'm going to hold on to my specs as long as I can, and then if I can trick something unsuspecting, I don't know, Zapdos into Roost, trick in some specs, and then set up a sub, that's solid. I was originally running Taunt, but then Vandrel told me to run sub, so running sub, that's up in the air. In terms of what I'm not bringing this week, Garchomp, main reasons, I do think Tangrowth is coming 100%. I didn't want to run Scarf on it, and I think the Kyurem is going to run Scarf on it to Ice Beam me in the face. It was a nice way to pressure the Lopunny as well. Kind of forces Lopunny to run Ice Punch, which is cool, so I don't necessarily think he can run sub shenanigans. He's got to have High Jump Kick, I think, against me. I'd imagine that's his best way to beat Bronzong. Like, Drain Punch isn't going to do enough to it. Return. Then from there, I'm not sure where he would go. I think he's going to be a little bit scared of Talonflame. Z Talonflame can come in and revenge kill Mega Lopunny very, very easily, which is why I think he's going to be physically defensive Zapdos rather than specially defensive Zapdos. And so Hoopa should be able to take it on, so should Rotom. Yeah, that's kind of the main reason I didn't bring Garchomp, is because I can't just spam Earthquake against him and have it be okay. The Melodic can potentially wall me at a certain point if I'm Scarf Chomp, especially if he's a Flame Orb variant. That sucks. If the Klefki's Magnet Rise, then I'm also in a shit position because I have to run fire coverage for it, and I don't want to run fire coverage this game because it's worthless otherwise. Clefairy kind of forces me to run like Poison Jab or Iron Head, probably Poison Jab because his Steel is Klefki. So there's a lot going through my mind with the Garchomp. I just opted not to bring it. Thought the mons that I brought were better anyways. Bronzong gets fucked by Darmanitan, and it's setup fodder for Reuniclus, so it's not coming. Talonflame, I had debated, but Melodic kind of walls it, and I wanted to run like a Will-O-Wisp set, bulky Will-O-Wisp set with like Flame Body for Lopunny, but like Z Gale Wings was just like better to revenge it. But then either way, I'm walled by the Zapdos. Masquerain, Webs are not that good against this team because he's got a pretty slow team anyways. Could have been a solid Intimidate user. It actually could have functioned fairly well as a setup variant, but I need to get up 2 Quiver Dances to outspeed his Scarfers, so it's like, Starmie, another Mon that I was debating bringing. It can't really break through Melodic without a Z of its own, and I really wanted Rotom to be Z, so in any case, I probably would have brought Starmie over Rotom if I didn't think that Rotom was just better, because I think Z Blizzard has a lot less resist than like Z Electric. I would have had to probably bring Z Thunder to hit the Melodic with Starmie, and I'm not going to do that. So that is the team. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys for the match against Shade and the Calgary Talonflames.